Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Quick introduction. My name is Rachel. I am a Strategic Alliance Manager here at Sage. We work very closely with the net effects, Craig, Tim, and team. And we have Craig on the call today, who will be running through most of this presentation for us. If you want to just switch to the second slide there, Ari. Apologies, can't see it from my side. There'll be a few things that we're running through today, so you can have a couple of expectations of the content. First, we're going to be talking about the ever so evolving construction industry and the need for AI-driven solutions and tight financial controls. This is becoming quite essential within the industry, and we'll talk through why and what we're seeing. And then we're also going to talk about the financial implications of manual financial management and outdated processes. Statistically, there are shrinking margins for these organizations. So getting up to automated and AI-driven solutions is quite necessary, not to only keep in pace with the industry, but to ensure that your company stays profitable. We will also explore AI's role in project management, finance, and workforce efficiency, why financial visibility and control are key to long-term success in this industry in particular, and how cloud-based solutions like Sage Intacct are transforming construction finance. So I'll hand it over to Craig, who will be walking through some of this content and educating you on his expertise within this space.
Thanks, Rachel, and good afternoon, everyone. Next slide, please. As you know, construction industry is transforming, and in order to go along with that, construction companies of the future need to take a look at their digital transformations as well. Digital transformations are really, really important in terms of how a construction company is going to manage all of the data and decision-making that's required on a day-to-day basis. We're going to take a look at cloud computing, the utilization of AI, which is a hot topic for everyone in the industry today, and then how we can then start to automate construction operations to a greater degree than we currently expect. We're moving away from manual processes all the time. The need to do things on an Excel sheet or with a paper time card is long since gone. So the manual processes and the utilization of the information that they create, as well as the work that takes place on a construction site, are becoming much more automated as we speak. And ultimately, these transitions are enabling companies to become far more efficient, optimize their resources, scale their operations in giving them the opportunity to grow. And what's most important to most construction company owners, make their operations more profitable. Next slide, please. So today we're going to talk about a number of different things, but in terms of the utilization of technology. However, the essential central point of any construction technology implementation is the utilization of an ERP. What does ERP stand for? It stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. And for most of us, that really is talking about a financial management system. How are you keeping your books? How is your financial information flowing in and out of your company? The better you are doing that, the more efficient you will be, the more profitable you will be, and the more successful your projects are going to be from your client's point of view. When you start to have cost overruns and ultimately time overruns as well, inevitably your relationship with your customer is going to wind up being reduced. So companies that are adopting ERPs such as Sage Intacct are building more profitably and more in tune with the future. Next slide, please. Financial challenges of the construction industry right now, 90% of construction projects exceed budget. And that's entirely due to poor financial tracking. Not only financial tracking, but also financial planning. If you didn't price it well or estimate it well in the first place, you're gonna have problems. And if you're not tracking every dollar that's being spent as it's going along, and making sure that you've got enough to, you know what your work what your width is, you know that you need to be able to understand how much money you have left to perform the balance of each task. Profit margins of less than 5% are very, very difficult to manage and make money from when your construction projects are running over budget. Ultimately, the other thing that's important is not the total spend, but the way in which your cash flow is managed. Is it coming in accurately? Are you getting your requests for your milestone payments out to your owner in time? And is your cash flow being your friend as opposed to your enemy? We want to rely a lot less on banks these days. You know what how the banks are tightening up, and improving your cash flow, improving your financial management will improve your relationship with your banks. AI is becoming a very important tool in managing those financial controls, and we will speak to those more as we move on through the presentation. Next slide, please. Why AI and automation are the future of construction. If we don't start to embrace AI and the automating opportunities that it creates, we are going to become far less competitive as builders. There's no question in my mind that that really is an important thing to do in the future. Now, does that mean that we should all run out and pay $25 a month for Chat GPT and then that will solve our problems? Absolutely not. It will help, but it's not going to be the solution. We have to take a look at utilizing AI analytic tools, which Sage Intacct can help provide. We need to take a look at automating our financial tracking. When an invoice comes in or a timesheet comes in, how is AI and automation going to recognize that expense, allocate it to the right account, and so on? And automation and AI can actually enforce that and make it much more efficient in terms of the time consumed in managing your accounts. You have the ability to optimize procurement. How is your supply chain going to be positively affected by automation? And that's a good question. Are your RFIs being managed in a way that you can assess the incoming responses to make sure that you're choosing the best one? And then how is your labor allocation being managed effectively on your scheduling? All of these things have a high impact and are going to be required for the successful construction companies of the future. Next slide, please. Predictive cost modeling is something that AI can help support in partnership with an effective ERP. If you're using baseline ERPs, and I'm not going to use any other names other than Sage when I talk about them today, but the fact of the matter is we know what some of those early financial systems are that are very commonplace in the industry. If they don't have the ability to help you with your cost modeling and being able to utilize the wealth of information you have in your financial records to come up with better pricing and better cost modeling, you need to start to take a look at upgrading. Automating your AP and AR workflows will help with that cash flow issue that we talked about. If you can get your invoices out and your requests for milestone payments out in a faster, more efficient way, and manage your accounts payable in a more efficient way, you are going to be able to tighten up and improve your cash flow dramatically. Fraud detection is something that people don't realize AI can help you with. I'm going to give you a very simple example. Does somebody's time card reflect the actual schedule that they were supposed to adhere to this week? If not, AI can pick up on those variances and tell you if something is untoward, or managing inventory on the job site more effectively can be supported by AI tools. And then ultimately, you want to have real-time job costing dashboards that are going to tell you exactly where you stand with every project at all times. Next slide, please. Okay, real-time financial controls. We were just talking about dashboards. Everybody should be able to see at a moment's notice the type of information that they need in order to make crucial decisions with respect to a bill. All right? If they don't have a dashboard that's telling them they're over budget, they're under budget in real time, they are not going to be as effective in maintaining the financial controls and making the most effective decision. In order to enable that, the tools that you're using in your digital structure should be cloud-based. In other words, they can be providing you that information on your iPhone, on a tablet, on a laptop sitting in a pickup truck, on the job site, so that your field staff can make effective and important financial decisions in real time. Next slide, please. Automated scheduling is something that can have a significant and positive impact on your cash, on your profitability. Wasted time is wasted money. And if we can automate scheduling of your resources, whether they be internal staff or subcontractors or suppliers, making sure that the materials that you've ordered a week ago are arriving on the day that you need them, all right, is going to be crucial to better manage it. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but AI and a very effective ERP will support that and enable that in a way in which you don't have to think about it nearly as much, but the outcomes will be better. AI-driven labor optimization, as we know, we take a look at material components, and labor components are our primary expenditures in the construction industry. If we utilize AI in order to optimize those, our profitability increases significantly. Next slide, please. We have the ability to predict material shortages. Material shortages are not as bad now as they were in 2021, 2022, when we had zero control over what was happening and materials were on back order constantly and so on. But the ability to predict your material shortages from maybe a given supplier, enabling you to choose a different supplier, is important to the success and the timely completion of any job that we do. We have the ability to automate our supplier negotiation. We send out our RFIs or requests for quotations, receive back the information, and then be able to actually put in automated tools that will say to any and all of your suppliers, oh, your price is a little bit too high, or I've got a better opportunity, or a change of plan, whatever that is, you have the ability to automate a lot of that, reducing the redundancy and the time consumption of phone calls and emails going back and forth and so on. And lastly, machine learning will help you understand demand forecasting. We all know that we're busier in the summertime. So how do we make sure we're first in line for that electrical contractor that we want to engage in order to complete a project? Well, AI and better and more effective supply chain management will make sure that those electricians show up at that job on time and on budget. Next slide, please. Cloud adoption is no longer an option. And when we talk about that, I mentioned a few moments ago that one of the things that's wonderful about having all of your tools in the cloud is the fact that you can use them anywhere, right? Today's day and age, there should be no need to be hooked up to a particular machine in a particular location in order to manage the information that you need in order to be an effective contractor. All right. The movement towards the adoption of cloud-based applications is quite rapid right now. It's fair to say the construction industry as a whole is a slow adopter. But today, what we are seeing is a faster movement. Why? Because those that are lagging behind are recognizing that they're losing any competitive edge that they might have had. Real-time collaboration is a key driver to this as well. If we are using applications that are in the cloud, we can share those applications across our projects, across our people, and even with our suppliers and subcontractors. So cloud-based, we can give them, as an example, we can give them a direct connection to our scheduling tools, so that they can see that they are due to make that delivery or have their people on that job at a certain date and time. The cloud enables your business to scale and grow a lot faster than utilizing old, what are called on-premise, or the old days when we used to take a CD-ROM and stick it in the side of our computers. Those days are gone. And as they left, they allowed us to scale up more immediately. And then the last and important piece of this is the fact that cloud-based applications, and I want everybody to listen carefully to this, cloud-based applications have a higher effectiveness when it comes to cybersecurity defenses than anything that you can have on your computer. As long as your computer is connected to the internet and all of your applications are in your computer, it is in all likelihood going to be far more vulnerable to cyber attacks than any application that's on the likes of AWS or Amazon Web Services or Google Web Services and so on. They are much more secure in delivery of cloud applications than anything you can do on your own computer. Next slide, please. So cloud-based financial management, I'm going to ask Rachel to share some thoughts and some great opportunities that can be afforded by working with Sage Intacct.
Absolutely. Thank you, Craig. And I did see in the chat, it looks like a couple people aren't able to see the deck. So what we can do is send it out afterwards as a shared file, so you can reference it as well. But let's take a look at Sage specifically and why Sage Intacct is such a powerful tool for construction financial management. So firstly, Sage Intacct is AI powered, which means it goes beyond just basic reporting. It delivers real-time financial insights, helping you make faster, more informed decisions. Second, it offers automated cost tracking and budget forecasting. This is a huge time saver and ensures your budgets stay accurate throughout the life of a project. Thirdly, Sage Intacct integrates seamlessly with leading project management tools. That means your operational and financial data are always in sync, and there's no more jumping between systems or dealing with data silos. And finally, it includes predictive risk analysis capabilities, which helps you identify and address potential financial risks before they become real issues, reducing surprises and helping you stay ahead of project challenges. Overall, and just to wrap up very briefly here, Sage Intacct brings modern construction specific financial intelligence to your fingertips. So you can focus more on building and strategy and ensure that you're moving forward in a progressive way and less on just bookkeeping and accounting. We're good with that slide if you want to move to the next one.
Sure. So as we take a look at how the best construction technology systems are built, remember that what we talked about was that they're the center of, or the hub of all of your technology will be an ERP such as Sage Intacct. From there, all other applications can be hooked to them, as we call it in the technology game. There's a process called application process integrations, or APIs, that most of the construction technology applications have, that will enable your financial management system to connect to your project management system, to connect to your health and safety system, to connect to your human resource management system, your customer relationship management system. All of those tools can be interconnected. And once that's been done, then you have the ability to really strengthen and optimize your automation capabilities. So that when, take as an example, when something happens in your customer relationship management system, and it has, let's say a client says to you after a number of months of negotiation, they say, okay, I want to go ahead with that project. The moment that they say that, all of the information related to that negotiation, the contract, the scheduling predictions, the estimates, and everything else that are in a number of different tools will all be brought into play, and you will be able to automate the scheduling, automate the purchasing, automate a lot of different things based on having this infrastructure of technology really well put together with that ERP in the center. So what does that do for you? Well, number one thing, it prevents overspending. How many of you have ever issued 2 POs to 2 suppliers for the same resource? Maybe it's your drywall bill or whatever, and you didn't catch it. Well, the next thing you know, you're into a major negotiation with one of the vendors, at least, maybe both of them. And the next thing you know, you wind up with more drywall than what you need, or whatever the situation of your overspending is. AI within this integrated system has the ability to help you control it. You have automated budget reconciliation. In other words, when you are communicating with your owner and you are presenting them with the milestone payment documentation, all of that is going to be automated, and There it is. It should be there in the press of one button. I need my milestone expenditure report and turn that into an invoice and have it sent to the client. That can now be done with one push of a button. Predictive AI alerts on potential cost overruns. It's all kind of combined, but it really is important that the system, remember I talked about the fraudulent component a few slides ago. That's where it's going to help you be able to predict that, oh, there's something wrong with this expenditure. Let's go and check it and see what's going on with it. Or you may look at your schedule and say, hey, you've got a job that you're assigning 3 people to that you only really need 2 people for. And we may not think that that's a big difference, but when we're dealing with an industry where the average net margin is less than 5%, every nickel counts. And then you wind up, when you start to manage your nickels and dimes like that, through a tool like Sage Intacct, your profitability and your profitability analysis per project is right in the palm of your hands. Next slide, please. Okay. So many contractors that we talk to will say, well, you know, I really like that idea and I know I should be doing it, but I'm going to have problems with people. I'm going to have problems. It's going to be too expensive. Or, you know, how do I get everybody to start to adopt? My team won't adopt. We hear that more often than not. And yes, that's true. It is a barrier. These are realistic barriers. AI implementations are not free. They're not too expensive, though, if you take a look at your return on investment over a fairly short period of time. Most AI investments, small as they might be right now, and not nearly as comprehensive as they're going to be in the future, are showing payoffs. I'll give you a quick example. We do a lot of business in the US, and we help a lot of contractors south of the border. And if there's anybody from the US is on this call, we really welcome your attendance. But I recently wrote an AIA contract for a pre-construction project utilizing AI, and wrote the entire contract to the satisfaction not only of the customer or the client in this case, but also to the satisfaction of the lawyers. Now, it was an AIA contract, and for those of you who are Canadian, that's like a CCDC contract here in Canada. But the fact of the matter was the delivery of that contract in a very, very short period of time was precise, it was accurate, and it was complete from the lawyer's point of view as well as the customer's point of view. And I did it in probably about a quarter of the time that it would have taken without the use of AI. And that's just one example of how AI is going to give you a positive return on investment. People will tell you, oh, my team won't adopt to it. Well, if your team is spending any time playing Minecraft on their phone at lunchtime, they will adopt to the utilization of AI very quickly. If you're also, you know, if you take a look at what their skills are and how they spend their time, they're not usually adverse to AI or the utilization of other technologies for that matter. What they're not used to is the idea, they're afraid that it's going to take something away from their job, or their buddy down the line is not going to have, you know, it's going to lose a job because AI is going to make him redundant. Well, that's not the case at all. All it does, it makes us better, it increases our capacity, and it makes construction a lot a lot more fun for everybody by reducing a lot of the stressors that are generally in place. Okay, next screen, please. So when we take a look at all of this, what is the future of AI in construction management? It's significant. It's not going to go away. In my capacity as a member of the Technology Advisory Committee for the Canadian Construction Association, I often give a talk, and I remember going to a CCA meeting and presenting on the fact that the AI horse has left the barn, and we're all on it. It's just a case of how do we control it? How do we grow with it? What speed do we let it run at? We have the reins in our hands, but we're still going to be on this horse going into the future. Robotic automation for repetitive construction tasks are going to start to wind up being a lot more automated and AI driven. Predictive maintenance for your equipment is going to be so much easier. Your equipment's going to say, hey, you know what? I'm due. I've got enough hours on me that I'm due for not only the oil change, but you ought to be changing the belts as well. And it's going to be giving you, AI is going to be giving the person that's responsible for equipment an automated notification to say, hey, that compactor is due for its service. What's going to happen then? That compactor is going to last longer. It's going to pay for itself, and the downtime on a job is going to get close to zero. Right. Lastly, enhanced AI algorithms for financial forecasting and to a certain degree fraud protection in applications like Sage Intacct are growing and expanding and being developed every day. I'm sure Rachel and her team at Sage will tell you, they are just beginning to find out all the opportunities for creating financial forecasting tools and fraud, to a certain degree, fraud protection as well. But the more we utilize AI algorithms for financial forecasting, the more accurate our estimates are going to be, the more accurate our estimates and against our actuals are going to be, and the more accurate our predictions of profitability and completion dates are going to be. So there's a lot to the future of AI in construction, and Sage Intacct and its other Sage's other products are right in the middle of that. Next slide, please. Okay, so your key takeaways today. Automation, AI are the future of construction finance, and the better controls on the finances lead to risk reduction, increased profitability, expansion of a company's capacity. How many of you have had to turn down jobs because you just couldn't afford, you didn't have the capacity? Whether the capacity be working capital, or whether it be you don't have enough employees, or your capacity is you haven't got enough subcontractors or suppliers that are capable of providing you with the goods and services that you need in order to increase the number of projects. Any of those questions will be improved through stronger financial controls. Cloud-based tools like Sage Intacct, providing real-time financial insight, are the key to being able to achieve all of the others. And then predictive AI analytics, improving your projects and budgets, your workforce management, your own time management. How many of us have had to put in too many 60 and 80-hour weeks because we didn't have good information and good data at our fingertips and in our planning process. I know that most of the contractors that I talked to who started off, you know, as tradespeople who were working the tools and then eventually turned into a contractor or subcontractor and so on. Their biggest story is the consumption of time and the inability to find work-life balance. And AI and a lot of the analytical tools and automation tools can help you achieve some better work-life balance in the long run. Okay, next slide, please. All right. Well, we reached the end of our presentation today. And so are there any questions that, Ari, are there any questions that the audience is coming out with? Or Rachel?
So far, I don't see
Yeah, it doesn't
anything.
look like we have any questions. If anyone has any questions, now would be a good time. Not sure if you're going to be able to unmute and speak, but into the chat box would be great.
Right. Well, it seems like we've got a very well-informed bunch apparently, because the questions are fairly few today. So I'd just like to close by saying, if you were, you know, we welcome your inquiries through the net effect or directly to Rachel and her team at Sage. Again, what we're talking about in terms of the future of construction and digital transformation is something that that everyone, even the large, you know, the Ellis Dons and the PCLs and the birds of the world, even they are taking a look every moment of every day at how do they improve their digital environment in order to achieve the kinds of things that we talked about here this morning, or this afternoon. So we invite you to reach out to us at any time, and we'll be happy to help you with that journey towards the future of construction. Have a great afternoon.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.